And for those who are watching on Facebook live, you can basically put on your comments. We'll try to bring in on board for us to talk. As a general guide, we try to look into the various problems. We try to identify basically what are the root cause and how we can move forward from here. Yeah, without further ado, can Aloysius give a little bit of your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, there's nothing much I want to add because I've already written there. So I'd like to listen from those who have read it from the panel. What are your feedback? Yeah, maybe Arun could start because Arun is the man very much involved in helping the poor and marginalized. Yeah, then the rest can continue. Yeah.
So Arun, there's this request for you specifically to start.
Yeah, I thought I could echo some of the opinions by other panels. First of all, thank you. Fantastic evening to all the viewers and all the panels. It is a great pleasure to have a nice Santai with you, especially on Saturday night. What a nice day, a nice way of spending our Saturday night talking about a nation, and especially the title. The title is "Nation in Crisis" or "Faith in Crisis." I think let's go with the nation in crisis. The real crisis here, and I think we started well. Okay, whether it's in 1957, then later the insertion of Malaysia in 1963. Okay, we started well, but through time, okay, our emphasis have gone so much on race and religion base. Nevertheless, the faith is important. We are a multiracial country as definition, right? So it is important for us to acknowledge the different races here. But if our emphasis is always about race and religion, that means every policies that we put forward, every idea that we put forward, every people that we choose to be a part of the civil service system, everything will be based on race and religion. I think the denomination in which we choose to build the country itself is very unsustainable. Nevertheless, in our constitution, they have recognized affirmative action. So what happened through time, we forgot there is a great difference between affirmative action and race and religion-based policies. Race and religion-based policy was never the spirit of our constitution. It is. So, but nevertheless, the makers of, the authors of our constitution very precisely wanted to make sure that the delicious pie of Malaysia is being shared by everyone. No one race should be left out because of their locality, because of their exposure to the infrastructures and such. But later what happened, especially after the insertion of Dasar Ekonomi Baru, 1971, right? After the 13 May incident. Okay, what we did, we brought the emotional sentiment of 1963 into a policy called Dasar Ekonomi Baru. That is where everything went south. The Malaysia that we built together, and the Malaysia that we got independent. Okay, the independent Malaysia later was somewhat got into a wrong route. Okay, because I think they totally misinterpret the constitution, the affirmative action, the mentioning of special privilege of the Malays. Okay, all of those stuff were taken as a passport, as a license for them to push the agenda of race and religion. And right now we are leaving leaving what we have decided in 1970. The detour that we took in 1970, after the black incident on 13th May 1969, we are here today. Everything is race and religion. In terms of economic, in terms of our social issues, in terms of politics, everything. So how can we now do a U-turn comeback? We need lot of minds, lot of folks to understand that we have
All right.
gotten a wrong detour, 1970.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Arun, for that. It's more like it's just a political, insight of how he sees that things from the, from 1969, a race riot.
I try to be very easy,
No, it comes to be. It sounds political now because I thought, of course, then that's okay. I think that also has some bearing into what we are discussing now, whether it has become more like a race-based kind of affirmative actions. That's how they say that thing. So that's probably, I cannot comment. That's probably, one view that I respect. So, Aloysius, want to say anything on that? I want to go to Eddy. I just go to Eddy, then we come back later.
Yeah,
Eddy?
we go to Eddy first.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what Arun is coming from the political angle, but I want to just basically respond to what Aloysius wrote about. Basically, this is the number one, what we are facing at this moment today with the pandemic. The problem of capitalism that we have been cultivating in the world since 1960s and 70s, when everything beginning to settle down, we begin to see what is happening right now. The pandemic brought those things out because we can see. What I'm trying to say is this: what Aloysius talked about, greed, and people just want material and money and stuff like this. We are seeing the fruit, especially in our country today. The pandemic had brought it out. Politically, one of the things that just now Arun was talking, saying that the whatever policy that he mentioned, I missed that. Basically, is the affirmation action. They have brought that one step further, and then the politicians pass a certain rules, and then allow laws being passed. Then things that what we are facing today, like for example, what I learned is that there is a constitution amendment that would not allow other religion to criticize Islam. But if Islam, and when a Muslim says something about other religion, it's okay. Now, the question I usually ask is that why do we allow that to happen? We have an MCA, we have an MIC. Okay, when all these rules and law being passed the time, why do they allow this to happen, allow this to pass? Because at the time, I think they have considerable political power in parliament to stop. Okay, this is one. But the reason why they allowed that to pass, go back to Aloysius' point, greed. Because these people, the people is supposed to be representing the minority in parliament, because of greed, they work together as a gang and say, okay, we pass this law. And that's it. And it's very obvious. Now you can see what is happening now in our country. Okay. So at the end of the day, and then the people, to a certain extent, but the thing is that I cannot blame the people so much because we are not as educated at the time in the 60s and 70s. But when you come to the 80s, when economy was doing very good, very well in one period of time, we were supposed to be the tigers, one of the tigers economy in Asia. People just allowed the government and the parliament to pass rules in the constitution, left, right, and center. When I came back from the US in the early 90s, when I found out all these things, and when I brought this out in class, my students usually say, keep quiet, keep quiet. They would just arrest you under ISA, you cannot talk about all these things. And then other people will say, as long as the economy is doing well, and that's okay. Now we are suffering from that consequence. We allowed the government, when they allowed the parliament to pass rules, they so obviously that it's not right, which go back to what Aloysius wrote in his in Nation in Crisis. All of greed, as long as there's development, there's money in my pocket, it's okay. And I think that is also part and parcel of our, I don't know, I could be wrong, somebody can correct me, but I think that part and parcel could be our Asian mentality.